Welcome back to Digibros.
Gundam.
Gun damn.
We're playing Shadow of the Colossus.
We're playing Shadow of the Colossus. It took me like 10 minutes to change the input of my TV. We're playing one of the side-scrolling segments in Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, you guys remember the side-scrolling parts of Shadow of the Colossus?
There were Metroidvania elements shoehorned into Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus, yeah.
Oh, I can hold this. Hold
Who
this
could
button down.
forget?
All
he
right.
did.
So, there's another topic I have.
Oh!
Are you ready for the next topic?
I am very
Is
ready.
your fucking body ready for this shit?
Holy
Because
shit.
we're going to talk about sex ed. This comes up because Jackie was talking about this in the Ben and Jackie live stream, and I thought it was pretty interesting because her parents explained, or her mom at least, explained sex to her when she was like 4.
Yeah.
And she just explained it in like extremely scientific terms, where she was like, she referred to it as mating and just explained,
Dude.
you know, what it is from a scientific, you know, perspective, just like very matter-of-factly.
Yes.
And then she asked like, but why do they mate?
Yeah,
And her mom was
exactly.
just
Like, why?
Like
Wow.
didn't really have an answer for that.
Nice.
It was just like because or she explained it as it's like it's their instinct.
Damn.
It's your instinct and you just know. And so it was just like all right. So I thought that was really interesting because that's definitely not what we had at all. I'm sure.
No.
Because you coming from Christian school did not even have sex ed in school, right?
Well, I did not have any sex ed in school. That is true. But my mom did talk to me about sex from the time I was a small child.
So how old do you think you were?
Oh my god. I was like probably younger than 4.
Oh my god, really?
Yes. Like
Holy
my
shit.
mom did it she tried to do it
That's-
my entire life.
But from what perspective was it?
It was
Like-
not a scientific perspective.
Yeah, was it like a religious perspective or what?
No, I mean, I think my mom was never the kind of person who was like, who believed that I would wait until
Oh,
marriage
what the
to have
fuck?
sex.
I got like
Oops.
caught on something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you really want to restart the chapter? What?
No. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
I
Okay.
was like, let's not
I'm like,
do
why
that.
would I do that? Okay.
But she wasn't the kind of person who expected me to wait until marriage to have sex or anything like that.
Ironically.
So she was basically just trying to make sure that I was safe about it.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
But I didn't really want to hear anything about it.
Oh, of course. But
that's
like
weird.
safe about it when you were like 4? Like
Well,
when
I mean,
did that come in?
when I was little, it was just kind of addressing the topic and like explaining it, and then once I got older, it became more
like
about
explaining
being
it
safe.
in what terms?
Like,
how is it explained to you?
you know, the fucking romantic bullshit of you know,
Like when a man loves a woman,
when you
was
you'll meet
was
a
the
guy
act
who
described
you
at all?
really love, like, yeah.
Was it explained that the penis would go into the vagina and stuff
Yes,
like that?
and she made sure to tell me
Interesting.
that it would hurt, and I was like, yay.
Huh. Well, that's good. That's good to explain.
Which made me not super,
Oh,
not
I'm
any
sure.
more interested.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I want to willingly cause myself pain.
She did the
Sick.
the reverse of she made you abstinent by just explaining what sex was by educating you, and then you're like, oh wait, I don't want that at all.
Never mind.
Which is probably the best way to fucking promote abstinence, is just to explain what your first time's gonna be like.
It's like, it's gonna suck. Yeah, she basically was like, it's gonna suck, but
Yeah.
you know. And I was like,
Don't fucking romanticize it.
No,
Just tell
I'm
you know, tell it
good.
like it is, and you won't really care about it because it's not
it's like,
mysterious.
thanks, but no thanks. But yeah, in school they did not even
Yeah.
talk about it.
When did
It was
you-
the, you know, abstinence is the
Yeah.
only safe sex kind of
Jesus.
thing.
When
it's
did
what
you learn
Jesus
about
wants.
like the anatomy of it all?
We learned about anatomy in anatomy class, dude.
But,
Like, I
like,
had anatomy
male-
class
male
in
and
like
female genitalia?
ninth grade, something like that.
But you didn't know about how it all worked until then? Or did you kind of learn on your own?
I didn't know basically anything about male genitalia anatomy until Probably high school anatomy.
Had you seen male genitals? Had you been exposed to porn?
No.
Huh.
Nope.
Not until ninth grade? When would you say you were first exposed to porn? Like, even anime porn, you know? It's interesting, because you were a big anime fan, so I would have thought you would have, like, come across anime porn at some point at least hentai, you know?
No, it was pretty fucking late. Like,
Huh.
it had to have been, 10th or 11th grade?
Interesting.
It was not
Wow.
early on at all.
Had you seen a dick before?
My dad's.
Okay. But like...
But, like, other
from
than that...
From a means where you could really comprehend it, or what? I don't know.
No, definitely not.
Okay. Were you...
There... I was
there still
way
a mystery
too
to
scared.
you in high school when you learned about the anatomy, where you're like, oh, that's what it's, that's what a dick looks like?
There was, my experience from being a child.
Yeah.
But, like, beyond that, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Why would I?
I don't know. It's an interesting perspective.
I was a good girl. I didn't watch porn or anything like that. I didn't look out. I didn't seek out sexually explicit material.
That's interesting, because I think a lot of people who get more sexual in adulthood were exposed to that at a young age, like at least exposed to porn and stuff, because you wouldn't have even, like, I don't know, were you masturbating at that point? I don't know if you're comfortable answering that. Like, was that a thing you discovered and knew what it was?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. It was like 8th or 9th grade, I guess.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I mean...
So you were jacking off, it just wasn't tied to sex at all. Like, it
Right.
wasn't tied to sexuality and porn and, like, stuff like that.
Right.
That was one of my theories on the asexuality before, was that in sexuality in general, even though I don't know if it's a sound enough theory, but it's that, like,
It's a gay theory.
sort of, like, for me at a young age, because I was exposed, me and Connor were exposed to porn. I was like fucking 5 or 6.
Oh, God.
Like, and we had found my dad's porn stash in his bathroom cabinet or whatever, and then me and Connor and Boyd would sit there and look at the porn, which I was always like stuck as the lookout. That box became part of me.
Yeah, that was nice.
So I never got to see a lot of it. I'd get to kind of peek over the shoulder and see, but Connor and Boyd mostly got to go through they're like Playboys or something,
Right, so not like super explicit, but naked ladies.
Kind of. I don't know. It might have been Penthouse or something.
I was gonna say, because Playboy doesn't
I
have, like,
distinctly
dicks
remember
going into vaginas or anything.
Well, no, it was mostly just pictures of women.
Yeah.
Without the men and the dicks going into vaginas and shit. But I do remember one spread that is scarred into my head as a child.
Oh,
where it was a
God,
woman sitting, or doing the splits, and like a dude's entire foot was in her vagina.
Ah!
And I was just like, what the fuck? And that, like, broke my perspective on that for a long time.
What magazine was this?
It was just in a porn magazine. There was just a spread of
Some
a fucking
weird foot fetish
a dude's
magazine.
foot. And it was just, I think it was just like this, a couple pages of just like, this woman can fit so much in her vagina. And it was just like different things in her vagina. And there was just a dude's whole foot in her vagina. This is what I remember as a kid. Maybe it wasn't a foot. Maybe it was a fist or something. I remember it being an entire, like, it was just you could just see the ankle poking out. And it was just this dude foot deep in a fucking vagina. And I was like, what the fuck? Because to me, like, as a kid, it was always kind of...
Foot deep in a vagina.
Yeah. But I was exposed to it at such a young age that, like, I didn't understand it all, you know?
Right.
And then, like, it was never really appealing to me.
So, yeah.
Like, I'd look at it with Connor and Boyd because it seemed like that was the thing to do, you know?
Because they were doing it, yeah.
Like, but I never really got the attraction to it. Like, it's not like I was, like, turned on by seeing naked girls when I was a little kid, you know? Like, I didn't know. I was just there along for the ride.
I was just
So
there
then,
chilling.
like, probably over time, because there was, like, the first time we had found the stash was when I was probably, like, 6, and there was again when I was, like, 10 or so, and then, that was when Shade was a little older and running around, and so he eventually like, had accidentally blabbed to my mom.
Oh.
And so that's when the porn stash ended, and it wasn't around anymore.
And this was before the internet, right?
Yeah, this was a little before the internet. Yeah, we weren't big into computers at that time. Besides, like, Pokemon.com and Game FAQs or whatever. It was before Conrad's forum days. But yeah, so the porn went away for a little while. And then, I think I discovered jacking off when I was, like, fucking 11 or something. Like, I was young as fuck. Because I kind of had an idea of it from Conrad and Boyd. Of, like, sort of what it was. Or that you could basically play with your dick. Like, it wasn't masturbation at that point. Because you really can't, like, physically do that as a little kid. But, like, I discovered that was a thing that felt good. And then, like, I also knew that it was a thing related to women. And so I think over time, like, I started to kind of connect that.
Just put the dots
and, like,
together.
yeah. So I almost feel like it was to me, it's like a sense of conditioning.
I was gonna say, it's almost like you were led down that path, though.
Where it's like, I could see where if I had never been exposed to that sexuality from other people, I would have never thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have been a part of me, because I would have never thought about naked girls like that and stuff, you know? I would have never been touching my wiener and thinking about girls. It's just, like, that kind of became associated with the action, because that's what I thought I was supposed to be thinking about, you know? So then, over time, eventually, you know...
You condition yourself.
You're conditioned to that, and then you start finding the porn, and then, like... Eventually, you do start getting into the porn, you know? Like, at a certain point, you're just kind of used to it, and it's associated with that pleasant feeling, I think. So that's kind of the way I've always thought about it. And so for me, it was, like, one of the way I was trying to, like, put some logic into the asexuality with you was that you were never exposed to that. Yeah, and so you were never you were never led down that curious path to associate the sexuality with a certain thing, you know? Even though you masturbated as a kid, it just wasn't associated with sex. It wasn't associated with men.
It
you
wasn't
weren't thinking
at all.
about men and building that sexual
wasn't.
association. So,
no, yeah. Especially because, my mom had definitely talked to me about it, and I was not interested in boys at all. So it had nothing to do with men.
So I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah.
I wonder how I would have turned out if I didn't have that fucking super early childhood exposure to that.
It is quite curious what your preferences may have been if you hadn't had an external influence.
Because I think that also contributed a lot to my guilt and depression over time, because I'd always feel so guilty about those things.
Yeah.
Whereas Conrad and Boyd, wouldn't fucking care at all. Like, I always felt guilt about, like, the sex and the masturbation stuff, because I didn't know what the fuck it was, and I was just kind of exposed to it so young, and I felt like I was doing something wrong, and I've wondered if that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from.
I can get
from a young age.
The feeling of guilt about the masturbation, because even when you're a kid, you're kind of like, this is weird. I don't really know what's going on.
You're not doing something that's normal.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it was like I didn't know that anyone else was doing that, and I was super young. And then I just felt like it was something wrong, because you're taught that sex is wrong.
Yeah, because it's always so much negative connotation.
And then, like, I hated the idea that I was a pervert and stuff. Like, that bothered me really bad, because I thought that made you a bad guy. And so, like, I just felt so much guilt from such a young age. Like, all the time. So it was, I don't know. I think it fucked me up a little bit. Hard to say.
Definitely still a lot of things about human sexuality that we don't understand.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
In childhood sex. That's why I say childhood sexuality is really interesting to me in something like It, where it's like, yeah, I think we should acknowledge, like, how early kids can get, like, you're thinking about sex from a fucking really young age, because we're exposed to it so early. It's so a part of our culture, and you see it constantly, that, like, for me, I was just always thinking about sex as a kid, and then you grow up and it's fucking all you fucking want. And it's like, because our culture prioritizes it so much, and it's just fucking everywhere. You can't escape it. So it's interesting to me. It broke.
Oh no!
Come on, game.
Box.
Don't, alright.
Okay, it was just thinking real hard.
Yeah. And so as far as sex ed goes,
Yeah, what kind of
besides
sex ed
the
did you
porn
get, Victor?
Because we only got the public school sex ed.
Which is probably still better than what I got,
it's
but
basically
not
just-
by much.
It's just anatomy, like, most of the time. Like, I didn't get I missed a lot of it because we moved so much that we would miss some of those sessions. So, like, in elementary school, I learned about the anatomy and everything, and, like, puberty and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Probably in, like, I think as early as 3rd grade and, like, again in 5th grade, because they, like, bring it, they give you a little bit more every time they bring it back. And they separate the boy and girl classes for whatever reason.
Now, you guys,
Yeah.
this is something you should keep to yourself and not talk to anyone else about, and you should be
Yeah,
embarrassed.
exactly. You should be ashamed of this. And then I think high school, like, they go into the, you know, protective sex and stuff and condoms and everything. But it's like, in public school, by high school, you fucking already know. Like, there's no way you don't know about condoms as a high schooler in public school. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I knew pregnant girls in middle school.
Oh, God.
Like, because I went to the ghetto school. At least one of the schools I went to. So there were pregnant girls around. And, like, I was exposed to that, you know, in middle school pretty early. And our parents never talked to us about it to any extent. Like, ever. I think they just got that we kind of figured it out. And, like, they never... I don't think ever once
There you go,
really
get 'em.
addressed it, to me at least. So that's interesting.
So your parents never actually
Yeah,
talked to you
they
about
never
it.
bother. And
They
I
were
mean,
just
we
like,
never
"Hmm."
asked. I think it was clear to them that we knew. You know, I think it was clear that we figured it out
There
on
you
our
go,
own.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think it's really not a good idea for parents to assume you'll figure it out on your own.
I mean, we kind of did.
But
But yeah.
is that
but I
how it
don't
really
know.
should be, you know?
Maybe
Like,
not.
I know that's a weird thing to have to talk about with your kids, but it probably is a good idea for
Yeah.
parents to talk to their kids about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because we were exposed to so much like adult content, and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but that's
covers
all
those
fake,
things,
you know? And parents know that
Well, not
shit
just
isn't
porn.
how it really is.
I mean, like, they go over stuff like that in TV. Like, there's sex ed in some adult comedy
but
shows and
that's
things.
not
Like,
always,
you
you
catch
know.
on to it. I don't know. But I never felt like I needed sex ed from my parents. Like, what were they going to tell me that we didn't already know by the time I was 14, you know?
Well, by the time you're
know.
14, yeah, but like when
Yeah.
you're younger,
I guess as a little kid, maybe it would have helped.
and maybe when you get older, if you have a shitty like sex ed program at school, they should probably go
Yeah.
over, you know, because otherwise that's how
Definitely
teen
kids
pregnancies
need to be
happen.
taught about, protection
Because
and
all the
shit.
fucking states that use abstinence-only programs have the highest rates of teen pregnancy. Gee, I wonder fucking why.
I think my mom would kind of, like, sort of ask at stuff in an awkward way sometimes, when she'd be like, oh, you'll use a condom, right? And it's just like, yeah, sure. Yeah, Mom.
He was trying
We
to...
know about sex, but not until, like, late, you know?
Not until late.
Didn't go over it in our preteen years at all. Or in our very young age at all. I don't know. Never got the talk to any extent. I don't know if that's weird or not.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
people will let us know.
I think everybody's probably had different levels of parents interfering with their sex ed, and everyone's
Yeah.
had different levels of school sex ed.
Yeah, some people like your mom scare you away from sex.
Yes.
For
Some
people
people's
like me and
parents
Conrad,
tell
we
them
just,
how horrible their first time is going to
yeah.
be and make them not give a shit about sex at all.
in marriage. Your mom seemed very anti-men in relationships for most of your life, but wanted
Yeah.
you to be with the guy.
Yeah.
But also shit talks marriage and like sex and stuff all the time.
Yes, correct. There was a point in my life
Hmm.
when my parents' relationship was not good, where my mom literally told me that, like, if she got a divorce from my dad, she would probably never get with anyone again because she didn't care about sex.
Oh my god.
And I was like,
Wow.
okay. I'm like 12, but sure.
Jesus. Sounds like someone wasn't doing a good job.
Just what a mess.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I had a lot of negative influences there.
Yeah.
Didn't help.
Figures. Oh, shit. What am I? Fuck, where's the guy?
Another great reason I never intended on getting married when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I saw my parents'
There weren't a lot of
marriage.
incentives for you to, find a man, you know?
No, not really, yeah.
Seems like to you it would have been like, why the fuck would I want a boyfriend?
Exactly. So I can be miserable and eventually get married, which is apparently the worst thing in the world?
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Super duper. Let me just
Can't believe it. How the
hop right
fuck do
on
I-
that.
Do I gotta do this thing on it? How do I get to that?
Oh.
Do I gotta blow up the walls with the boner?
The boner. You can try. No.
Shit. Oh, maybe I got a boner above it. Fuck, where's the light boy? I can boner that.
Yeah, try that. See what's in the
Boner!
Maybe there's a,
Oh, it's a red gem.
well, I mean that's helpful too, but
Yeah.
but
Oh,
not
there's a
not really
torchy
what
thing.
we need right now.
Torchy thing. Swing, 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 swing. Alright.
Ka-ching.
We gotta kill these guys. We gotta get to the orbs. Killing these guys will make it a little easier to get to the orbs. Fuck my ass. Yeah, I guess that sucks. I don't know if I have more to say about that. Interesting topic, right? Yeah. My super early exposure to the sex, your somewhat early exposure, but not like to.
But not in a positive way.
Yeah, in a negative way.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Interestingly
think that was
enough.
intentional on my mom's end, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Here we go.
it happened. Regardless.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Everybody's parents fucks them up somehow.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how bad and in what way.
Our parents was my dad for having porn. Porn in a very easy to get place, which is like his bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
wow, great.
Not super stealth.
Sick hiding spot.
Aw, there you go.
Yeah! Sex bros! Everyone's feeling great about this topic. What else do I have to say? I almost got on. I started to think about something and then I let it go. As usual. Let it go.
They started to form a thought, and then he just let it fly into the breeze.
And he was like, I'm Victor! And then it was gone.
More or less, yes. That's
Shit.
that's the way the
I don't
cookie
think
crumbles.
this is the right way to do this. I think I gotta go somewhere else. Oh, is that the boy? No, that's not the right boy. Because he didn't get the... I fucking waste all my tequila. Tequila!
Just reminds me of Princess Jellyfish.
Yeah. Yeah! Do you got a topic?
Great
You
show.
want to segue into a topic? I think I'm done with that topic. I think I'm wasted. I think I'm spent.
Wasted.
I think that topic is spent.
But
How the fuck do I get up there?
let's see. All right, I guess we could talk about this. This kind of came up when we were watching Atypical, and
Oh,
there
no.
was the shitty
autisms?
yes, the shitty mom character who fucked the bartender even though she
Oh,
was
no.
married and had 2 children. So you
I'm
brought
not sure
up
if this is
the-
gonna be shitting on me or shitting on.
Why do you think everything is gonna be shitting on you?
Because I shit on blonde moms and shows too much.
Yes, I totally care.
Alright, I'm kidding.
Anyway, so that brought you to start talking about the trope of the American TV mom, where she has to
Yeah.
break away from her identity just being a mom and find out who she is again, and how that's very prevalent in American TV shows
That brings me
nowadays.
around to something we just saw today. Because, like, there's definitely... Moms identify with being a mom. Very
true.
strongly. Like, moms in general are like, I'm a mom. You know, this is a sense of pride. I bust my ass, blah, blah, blah. I'm a tough mom. You know, it's always like, I'm not just a fit woman, I'm a fit mom. You know, I raise kids and I do fitness. And it's always like your life kind of becomes about being the mom, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
From the perspective of a mom, because you have to raise your kids and you don't get to really do anything else, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you know.
That's literally your whole life.
Yeah, has no identity, no job identity beyond just being at home and being the mom.
I'm a homemaker.
Yeah, and so we've seen this in these shows, and then it's like the mom's midlife crisis is to really in Atypical it was the mom sort of rebelling by like going and having an affair because yeah, she wanted to be like she was when she was you know, she wanted to still prove that she could be sexy and spontaneous and go fuck a dude.
Which she
But
did.
it's like it's like in all these shows that has to be the arc. Like there isn't another arc of self-discovery. Like it's always go and have an affair.
Always fuck a different guy.
Like I don't know why to discover yourself you have to go fuck a guy. Like I don't know why you can't find yourself in a different way.
We talked about this. A
What?
woman's identity can only be framed through a man.
That is true. That is quite literally true. Women are only men.
Women are only an extension of the man that they're
Yeah. I mean, who were you before me, Hope?
with. Indeed. Who was
Who
I?
were you?
Which led me to the other thing that we saw in Atypical, which is in these TV shows, the character arcs the girls have, be it a mom or a teenage girl or whatever the case may be, it's always a girl and they have to find their identity.
Yeah.
In Atypical, the big sister character, who is, I mean, the best character in the show, not that
Yeah,
that's saying
definitely.
much.
I think I can just shoot up into it from down there.
Maybe. Her whole character arc is that she's really good at cross country, and she gets a scholarship, and she wants to go to this big fancy school that's gonna give her a full ride, but she feels like she can't leave because she has to take care of her autism brother.
I mean, her arc was pretty. I don't think that was as much about finding out who she is as much as it was about she needed to learn to prioritize herself over other people, and
But
like
in a sense,
not
that's still
not be
like
the big which that's-
reaffirming who you are, like reaffirming that you
I don't
don't
know.
need to sacrifice yourself
Yeah,
for
I
other
guess.
people, other people's needs.
But
Which
it
is
doesn't.
still reaffirming your identity.
It doesn't seem the same to me as like the plot of Girl Boss, where it's like she's a girl who doesn't really know what she wants to do, and so she has to find her passion. Like that to me is the more typical girl arc. And so like in Atypical is actually pretty unique because it was a big sister arc and not just like a general girl arc where it was
That's
like she had to
true.
learn to step back, stop being the big sister, stop taking care of everyone, and take care of herself.
Yeah, and do what she needed to do.
Which is pretty cool. It was unique for what it was. I guess that's
Well, it was
the
the best
older
character
sibling
in the
arc,
show.
you know. Let yourself have something
Exactly.
and not just look out for everyone else all the time.
The girls finding their identity arc is also can be said of the Netflix show Glow. What's the
Yes,
main
exactly.
character girl?
There's always a fucking
She's
quirky main
nothing.
character girl, and she doesn't know what she wants to do. She's not cool enough. Then she finds her one quirky passion, and she has to do that. Same thing with to a less gay extent, the movie Heathers was about a girl
less
who
gay extent.
she just conforms. She doesn't know what she wants. She's just kind of
Yeah.
like she's pushed around by other girls. She's like, I had these friends and they were shitty, and now I'm hanging out with the popular girls and they're kind of shitty, and I'm just kind of like going through the motions, not really caring about it or anything. And then she meets this guy who's super edgy and cool, but then he's also just kind of shitty, and she's just doing whatever he wants to do. And then in the end, she finally goes like, no, I'm done with this shit. I'm
Fuck
done doing what
this.
other people want. And then she befriends the fat, ugly nerd girl. Because that was, the first independent thing she decided to do. She was like, I'm not going to be a conformist. I'm going to befriend the weird kids, I'm going to be cool. What the fuck am I running to right now? I'm just getting annihilated by this shit. Okay, I think I gotta get in there while the darkness is happening.
The dark.
How do I make the darkness stop?
Hello, darkness.
I feel like it's not supposed to be here. There's a guy.
Get him.
No, that's just a lantern. Oh, can I open the lantern?
That's not one
Fuck.
you can shoot.
Shit, dude, I'm struggling.
Can you? Oh
I'm
no.
straggling. Just gotta run through this shit. Here's
Jesus
some kind of room.
Christ. Yeah, some kind of room. And counter to that was the male equivalent of the female arc, but it's for males. You mentioned that it's normally guys finding their purpose.
Yes, you have to find a purpose, whether that's, loving your child or being dedicated to your family,
Like Nicolas Cage.
or yes, like Nicolas Cage. Or is it similar with the female arc, which is finding your career. That's always a good one. Or getting laid.
Getting laid.
Finding your confidence is a thing. You're a cuck boy. You have to find how to be confident and how to approach the world. That's what the autism arc was about. It was about figuring out other people.
It was about getting a
how
hand job in an
confident.
igloo.
Yes, getting a hand job in an igloo. The classic character arc. How do I get a hand job in an igloo? What a fantastic finale to a show.
So good.
Spoiler
Netflix,
alert.
we need 10 more seasons of Atypical. Each season ends with a progressively more intense sex act in the igloo.
Bryce got a fucking... How do I close the hand? I don't remember. Is there a mechanic to that? The hand is what's spewing out all the shitty darkness. Fuck. I wasted all my... Tequila! I'm gonna do it every time.
Proud of you, buddy.
Like, how do I...
Can you
how do I
bomb
do?
it? Put the bomb on it? And, blow up the bomb. Try that. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
Fuck you! Man, I gotta hit him
well,
with
it was
this.
worth a shot.
Oh, I gotta go up and hit square. Great. Fucking great. Wasted all that tequila.
We've been standing in darkness for like 20 minutes, and we could have
Oh my God.
Oh. Hey, it's Christopher.
Well, that's good, because I need to buy a whole bunch of shit.
Yay!
I only have 73. Whatever. Good enough. How many minutes are we at? Did you set a timer?
I forgot.
Oh, forgot to set the timer. How many minutes do you think? We went through like 2 topics, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that.
We talked about, being a sex. We
Being
talked
a
about,
sex.
tequila.
Being a gay.
32 minutes. That's good. All right, guys. Next time on Digibros, we'll